Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing my top 3 purchases of 2019 full bottle worthy purchases. Originally, I wasn't going to have them in any particular order, but now I am. I think some of you out there want to see me be a little more discriminating and comparing fragrances a little more. So I am going to rate it as 3, 2, 1. 1 being the best. It was very hard to order this though. It took me a little while to figure it out because there's so many different things I like about fragrances, so many aspects to compare: price, performance, uniqueness, most innovative, and also there's notes and fragrances that I'm partial to, types of fragrances. I like tobacco fragrances, I like boozy fragrances, I like kind of the sweet fragrances as well. So I've organized them the best way I can, but know that this was very hard to do, and I would give these all a top score if I could, but I must choose, and I will do that. Coming in at number 3 for the boozy category, and my personal 3, is Nasomatto Baraonda. This, in my opinion, is the king of booze fragrances. I love the Nasomatto presentation. I'm going to go ahead and pop it out. Interesting how they picked this red. It's really vibrant and eye-catching. But here's Nasomatto Baraonda. I've got a video of it, and I'll put it up here or here so you can watch it if you want. Authentic cork, great Nasomatto presentation as always. There's even a rumor that it was blended with actual whiskey, so not the notes, not any kind of alcohol, boozy notes, but actual whiskey itself. Of course, it's an unfounded rumor, but Alessandro Gualtieri's kind of a wacky, innovative guy, so I wouldn't put it past him. The notes in here, I should have grabbed the note list, but I can remember off the top of my head. We've got ambrette, we've got the whiskey, we've got the woods, we've got the rose, and we've got the musk, and some kind of fruitiness to it. When it opens up, what's interesting is it kind of has a wine note to my nose, and a lot of people pick up the whiskey, but it kind of has this kind of stewed fruit wine note. It's hard to tell until it gets on your skin, but there is kind of a fruitiness to it with the whiskey, and the musk and the ambrette gives it this excellent kind of spiced, barrel-aged, oak barrel whiskey, and they almost put some fruits in there to stew with the whiskey. It's absolutely delicious. It's not technically a gourmand, but this would have the same effect as a gourmand on me. It smells delicious. It makes your mouth water. It's like putting a drink up to your mouth and just smelling it, and you can almost just taste the vapors coming off of it. It's photorealistic whiskey. It's beautiful. 30 milliliters is most Nasomatto, and the price point you can find at gray market, for $130. It can go all the way up to 200. I got this for a good price and I'm happy with it. I would buy it for more if I had to. It's lovely. I will buy another one of these when it runs out. Performance is good though, 2 or 3 sprays, the X straight to parfum strength, so it'll last you the whole night. It'll project well. Good performance, good bang for the buck. Beautiful presentation. So I just keep it in my box because I like things nice and organized and keeping it out of the light. Oops, I accidentally put it upside down. I'll worry about that later. But it was hard to pick out of the Nasomattos. I love Duro, I love Pardon, but the one that was just absolutely delicious to my nose, the one that I just really looked forward to putting on, and the one I was also afraid to put on because I didn't want to run out of juice. I just love it. I love the booziness of it. Moving on to number 2, this will be Zoologist B. And this is kind of my sweet, honey, gourmandy category. Sorry I couldn't make it number 1, Victor Wong. It was close. It was close. And some people, I've come a long way with Zoologist B. My original review of it wasn't the greatest, but this is something I had to sit on for a while. I had to just digest, and I eventually came around to it. If I could change anything, I would have made it a little spicier. I understand, it wants to be kind of a photorealistic beehive honeycomb, and I do appreciate the animalic aspect to it. I'll go ahead and pull it out. Beautiful presentation. This was the special edition, so you get the little, colors and things like that. Anyways, here's the bottle. Great quality as always. I love the slope. 60 milliliters, the $195. Heavy, nice weighted cap, and of course you've got the queen bee here, Victor the master of puns. And it's a yellow juice, and it looks like honey, and that kind of tells you exactly where it's going. And it's a beautiful honeyed gourmand. And it's got notes of benzoin, it's got the ginger, the royal jelly, it's got florals in there, it's got sandalwood, mimosa flower. Very nice. It takes a while to digest. I didn't love it immediately, but then after just going back to the sample a couple times, I'm like, oh, you know what? I gotta get it. I gotta get it. And I'm happy I got it. It'll last a long time. It's X-Straight and it's 60 milliliters, so that'll last 2 or 3 years if I'm not using it all the time. Great performance, bombastic performance. People will notice this. I think, for you compliment getters out there, this definitely has the potential to get compliments. However, this is not a conventional honey. There's a lot more, there are nuances to it. Originally, my beef originally was with the Tonka. I guess I'm just biased against Tonka. The note, I don't know. I understand what it's doing. It draws the honey. It brings it sweeter. Whereas without it, the honey would be kind of a more raw honey. It wouldn't be kind of that sweet honey you buy in the supermarket. I get why I did it. Like, I kind of understand why I did it now. I just, have beef with Tonka as a note, and that's not Zoologist's fault. It's not Victor's fault. But I great presentation. It's absolutely lovely. I love the honey note. It's really nice. I haven't worn it out too much yet outside of my house, just experimenting with it here. It has the potential to be kind of a winter or fall. It's an all year round. Maybe not in the summer, because it might just, where I am, it might just be too hot in the summer, too cloying. But great in the spring, when the flowers are blooming and everything like that. But also great in the fall and the winter when you want those richer honey notes. Good choice. I'm happy I got it. No buyer's remorse at all. I would totally buy it again. Number one, this is also like my least watched video on YouTube. This is Slumber House back. Slumber House is a really interesting, innovative house. The creator, the owner, Josh Lobb, is kind of a character in the fragrance community if you're not familiar with him. He's like set his lab on fire twice. He gets his inspiration getting, lost in the woods. May or may not be on the influence of anything, you know what I mean? But just bizarre, strange, but just incredibly innovative fragrances, rich ingredients, all natural ingredients, strong projection, strong longevity, just thick, viscous liquid. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. This is what it came in, by the way, this little black satchel sack thing here. And here's the bottle. It's actually very small in your hand. It looks bigger in pictures online, but here it is. It's very small in my hand. Here it is back in kind of faded letters. Back. And you have our little silicone cap because he ran out of the metal ones. But a really interesting sprayer. It's one of those like depressy sprayers. It kind of has like a vintage feel to it. Oh, absolutely wonderful. So what you got in here, this is boozy, tobacco, and fruity. That's why it was my number one. It's got tobacco in here. It's got apricot in here. If that's not an innovative note, I don't know what is. I don't know any other fragrances that have apricot in it. I know fragrances with date, but not apricot. And it's the stewed rich apricot. You've got ambergris in here. You've got vanilla. Some other things. Can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe of it, though, is the tobacco. There's some booziness to it. There's not an official booze ingredient. But when everything comes together, it gives off this booziness. There was a really interesting comment on Fragrantica, someone saying they were stirring a Manhattan with a fruit straw, the drink, the Manhattan. And I thought that was really interesting, and it hit the nail on the head. This, to me, has tobacco vanille DNA in it. It smells kind of like tobacco vanille. It's also kind of what Jazz Club wanted to be, a boozy, smoky with some vanilla. This does it the best out of everybody. This is all the best of Jazz Club, all the best of tobacco vanille brought together. You have just this rich tobacco. It doesn't lean one way or the other. It kind of goes straight down the line. If it had to lean one way, I would say kind of greener maybe. With the apricot, it's wonderful. The ambergris gives it this richness. Artemisia is in here. That was the green note I was trying to think of. Artemisia is also in Nasamato absinthe. And why I like that was it gives it this greenness, this fizzy greenness, this rich greenness. And there is this greenness in here. Maybe that's what kind of brings the tobacco a little greener. Maybe it's not necessarily green tobacco, but the Artemisia assisting it. And the ambergris just gives everything that richness and makes it pop. It's just so interesting. I'm so excited to wear it. It's a beast. It is a beast. It will smoke your house out, and that is not a tobacco pun. I have not worn it out yet. I really want to. This could be my New Year's fragrance. I'm going to do a New Year's fragrance review video or of what I'm going to pick. This is a contender, and this will be in the video. So rich, so inviting, so warming. Everything you want in a fall winter scent. It is tobacco-y, boozy, fruity, rich notes, nothing too light. Absolutely wonderful. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Those are my top 3 really hard decisions. I'm not going to tell you what else could have been. Well, no, I can do some honorary mentions. Pardon was an honorary. No, well, actually, I had Pardon last year. I guess these are probably it. Maybe it probably would have been something rhinoceros or hummingbird. Probably one of the zoologists. I would have to pick there. There is one more, but I still have to do a review of it. That could have been here, but I'm not so sure because it's a little too spicy. That review of the fragrance I just mentioned right there will be coming soon. These were my top 3. Thanks for watching, everybody. Merry Christmas.